I arrive. Slide back into city body like a knife through a fish, skin and scales scattered on shore sides so that you could piece together a story from what remains. The shock of red, strange, natural, lived in, vivid against the grey-green of gums and the whispers from their trunks and leaves and all the other harmonies, the birds below and above, and the borers and bugs, the sweet wild of the wind, the unmistakable sound of water without and within, if you know how to listen. I've known since I was young, my ear holds the ocean. Desert body leaves me like the trees, walks from me and is swallowed by the sprawling sea swell of Melbourne. Like in the rivers, I am a water creature. It leaks from me through gaps in this ancient body. The transition tears at me. My eyes ache, stretching to the last sunrise, and later through sunroof to the first lit-up ball of starlight. Adam told me, you can't compare the skies. You've got to just take each one as it arrives. Slick like oil, the city encapsulates me, car cacophony covering up country, and everything's blocked by buildings borderless, further than the reach of my gaze, more rooms than they know what to do with. Deep listening just gives me dense din, mechanical movement in an endless drone of muffled moans. Here and now, nature comes only with concentration. Connection is in little rituals, reminding myself of my body and all the base, age-old knowing it holds, the tether between the size of me, my senses, and ancient soul. Home. I gaze towards hidden horizon, hazard a guess for east, and wait for blue-grey blank to change. I tell my mum about morning mists, the light given in gradients, almost imperceptibly until day details are revealed. Glints of spiderweb threads, like the stars, there's one and then many, multiplying as your awareness waxes and wanes, eternal like the flow of the ocean, lulled and stirred by the skies. She says it's like jet lag. Like your body is home, but your spirit is still on its way. We travel unnaturally, convenient but disconnected from movement, motion, the individuality of a footprint, the length of a stride. It's why I keep looking back, like there's something of me I've left behind. I stare at the sky, eyes straining for a size that I can't grasp. It feels all too manageable in the city, like I could hold each star nestled, gentle in the palm of my hand. Not like lying on the trodden red sand with fizz, shaken with the knowledge of bodies clung to a globe, hung in utter dark, lit by eons of illumination, the violent wrench of insignificance, and the impossible beauty of everything and forever. Like Iona said, cliches exist for a reason. Some things are beyond the weak capture of words and how much hands can hold. Then, distant horror movie headlights, an encroaching novelty enough to stand for. Then, the eerie unseen of the sun's reflected glow, borrowed from someone elsewhere, pulled to greet us by invisible threads, our moth faces aglow, matching spheres entranced. We watch together under the great emu above and around us. The old people knew before scientists did. Sky country filled with matter and beings, and more than the eye can see. God, imagine how much we could know if the world was ready. On the V-line, the clouds are a revelation. Wet handholds like great ridges of clay with all the knowledge of fire and electricity and time, and they're just the size of my chest, big enough to reach the choke hold of my throat, cold and brown, murky with rivergrass tendrils that gives a feeling between love and dizzying distrust. They hold all the awesome vastness that Rosie tells me to look for and keep tucked away until I need it. They're blocked by Tarnate Station. I can breathe again. And when we come out the other side, it's another estate and another, the endless anonymity of bad urban design. I look again. and they're curling around the yearning undulations of the yu-yangs like they've been begged to. Even above the starving fields of houses with hung wide jaws and the need to feast, the city is a hungry beast, but she must be fed, and I live on her tongue. Through teeth that are spat and groan, regenerative destruction, I see intermittent vastness before the jaw swings shut, where the warm red dark is kind to my eyes and it knows the shape of me. The mother-given shape of me, a soft body made for the city, but with clever fingers, earth-adjusted senses, hunger to look and smell and touch and taste and listen, a figure shaped by a long time growing, still the same beneath all the modern interruptions, the same ancient rhythms of water within, the endless din. You can hear it if you know how to listen.